Goldminded Records, they're not your friends.
What up, it's Klive Kraven. I'm back again with a brand new video. This time, this is going to be the answer segment to my Q&A session that I held. This is the first one that I've done. Had a pretty good feedback on questions. Got roughly 22, 23 questions here. I'm going to go ahead and just get right into it, start running down the line. I got a few right off the break from my man, Mood616. He asked me my top 5 personal MCs of all time. It's a really hard question. I probably couldn't say a definitive top 5, but some of the ones that are really up there for me. Big Pun, R.A. the Rugged Man. Big fan of Wu-Tang Clan, Mobb Deep. You know, I know those aren't individual MCs, but yeah, just Nas. You know, I love a lot of Nas's older shit. There's a ton of MCs that I really just, over the years, my style has kind of changed in what I've liked, so a definitive top 5 would be really hard for me to put together, but that's a few of the guys that I really enjoy their work. Top 5 Vincent Price films. Man, to be honest, I don't know a ton of Vince Price films. I've seen House on Haunted Hill, the original, you know, and a few other films, but I haven't seen a ton of his stuff, but everything I see him in, I like him in. You know, a lot of his stuff is the 60s, 50s, and I just honestly don't have, you know, he has some stuff in the 70s, I think even the 80s, but I just don't have a ton of stuff of his, to be honest. So the only one that really sticks out in my mind right now is, like I said, the original House on Haunted Hill, which I absolutely love. Have I ever been to Canada before? No, I have not been to Canada before. I would love to come to Canada one day. I'd love to hit up Toronto and travel all over. Actually, there's quite a few spots I'd like to hit in Canada, but I have not had the opportunity yet to do that. Do you like green eggs and ham? Well, yes, I do. I love green eggs and ham. Top 5 demon/possession films. Okay. Obviously, The Exorcist is up in there for me. Pretty obvious one. Top 5 possession and exorcism films. You know what? Even though it's a comedy possession film, Repossessed is in there for me. I'm a huge Leslie Nielsen fan. I just love that movie. I believe Linda Blair even reprised her role as the Exorcist in it, which is pretty funny. But yeah, really, really fucking cool. Very, very cool, enjoyable movie. What else? Exorcist, Repossessed. Man, I'm trying to think of them off the top. It's not so easy. I'm trying to look over my racks and see if I see anything. Anything that I see behind me that might stick out. I like The Last Exorcism. That was pretty good. The first one. I just saw the second one recently, but I really like the first one. That's 3. 2 more. What do I got? They're up there for me. Evil Dead. Evil Dead would have to be in there. Definitely falls in the possessed demon category. I could probably find another one, but we'll just say Evil Dead 2 just to make it 5 real quick. If you could collab with any MC on a posse cut, who would it be, dead or alive? Wow. Any MC, dead or alive? Well, I've worked with a lot of the idols of mine that are living. I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that. But ones that aren't alive that I would love to work with, I just haven't had the chance because they're not alive. I'd probably say Big Pun. I would have loved to do something with Big Pun. Phenomenal MC, hell of a lyricist. Just would have been really dope to be able to bang something out with him. But unfortunately, he passed away of a heart attack. Yeah. Next, Linda Blair or Jamie Lee Curtis. Excuse me. You know, I might hear a lot of shit for this one, but I'm gonna say Jamie Lee Curtis. I know a lot of people don't like her. I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't understand all the hate for her. I thought she did phenomenal on Halloween. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, she could have been replaced easily or she didn't do well or whatever, but I enjoyed her role and I thought she did a hell of a job. Among other films, you know, I've seen her in a lot of the things that I've actually enjoyed, you know, Terror Train, I thought she had a standout performance in Prom Night, because I didn't think Prom Night was a great movie, but I thought she did well in it. I think she was one of the better cast members. So yeah, I would have to say Jamie Lee Curtis over Linda Blair. Throwback question, WWF or WCW? Holy shit. I could do a whole video on this. I'm a huge wrestling fan. A lot of people know this, especially the old school era, back when it was WWF and there was WCW and the Monday Night Wars. I was a fan of both. I honestly watched both shows. I watched Monday Nitro, I watched Monday Night Raw. I flipped back and forth like a lot of wrestling fans did. I was never really a fanboy of either one. I loved both of them though, don't get me wrong. And when WCW went out of business, obviously I switched over to watching WWF. Never really got into the other shit like TNA Impact or ECW. I watched ECW way back in the day in the 90s when it was big, but that's about it. So, to answer that question, I guess nowadays you could say WWF. Or WWE as it is now, because that's really all that's left. But I liked both rosters. Both rosters had a lot of good wrestlers on both ends. So, and the last question for Moods is favorite fast food restaurant. That's a pretty easy one. And if anybody wonders, and if you heard that, no, I did not just bust ass. It's my foot rubbing on the chair. I don't want anybody to think I'm fucking taking fucking farts in the middle of my video. I'll wait until I stop the video to do that. Seriously. Yeah. Anyway, favorite fast food restaurant. This is a pretty easy one for me. I actually love this place. I've had every fast food restaurant. Probably is my favorite, and that is Popeyes. Love their chicken. Love that chicken at Popeyes. No, but yeah, their food is really good. I've always enjoyed it. I'm not a big KFC fan. It's all fucking greasy and nasty, like crispy chicken. So yeah, Popeyes is my favorite fast food restaurant. One RX Miss 1 wrote me or asked me, what are your 5 favorite Giallo films? To be honest, I haven't seen a ton of Giallo films. You know, I guess you could consider, things like Inferno and Suspiria in that category. I like those. I watched the whole trilogy, Mother of Tears, Inferno, Suspiria. I enjoyed all those. Opera is another one that I really like. Phenomena I enjoyed. Yeah, so that's 5 right there. But yeah, there's a ton of other ones that I really enjoy. I do like the Giallo genre, and I'm just kind of getting into it now over the last few months or so. I've been getting into those type of films. Mr. Snickers 21 asked me, what is your favorite horror magazine, website, or blog? Well, I will give you 2 answers to that. As far as magazines, Fangoria. Gotta be Fangoria. I've always enjoyed Fangoria. I actually have to get a subscription. I've never had one. I always pick them up randomly, but I told myself I'm gonna sit down and finally fucking put an order in and get the subscription to it for a full year and just buckle down and pay for it. So Fangoria is definitely one, and as far as websites or blogs, Bloody Disgusting is really good. They're phenomenal for news, and I really like the way their shit's laid out. Upcoming horror movies is another one that I also go to quite a bit to check out what's coming, prequels, sequels, remakes, whatever. So yeah, that's a few sites that I check out. Lunaria Claire, she asked, where do you see yourself when you were 50? What would you like to be doing, or living, etc.? Okay. Basically, by the time I'm 50, I would love to have my company established to a high caliber, much higher than what it is now. I'd love to get into film. Not a ton of people know that I want to get into film. I've done short films. I really am working on one right now that I really want to make a success, an anthology type film. And I just love I love the idea of making movies, so that's something I'd like to get into later in life. So maybe around the time I'm about 50, that's probably where I would like to head, the direction I'd like to be doing. I mean, I know I could do the music until I'm 50, but I don't know, maybe directing would be something I'd branch off into later on to kind of delve into. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Andrew Bellina asked me, what's your favorite movie of all time? That's extremely hard to answer. But I will say one of my favorite movies of all time is I Heart Huckabees. I've mentioned it before. Phenomenal movie, very interesting, original, just a really, really fun, great movie, excellent cast, phenomenal soundtrack, great story, very good acting, just a great overall movie. Absolutely love it, and that's I Heart Huckabees. He also asked, what hobbies do you have besides movies and music? To be honest with you, outside of movies and music, the only things I really do is play games. and fucking collect horror memorabilia. I mean, outside of the movies and music, there's really not a whole lot that I do, to be honest. I mean, that's pretty much the majority of my life is watching movies, reviewing movies, making music, creating music, running my business. I guess, yeah, running my business is kind of a hobby, I guess you could say, because I spend all my time doing it, all my free time. So I really don't actually have any per se hobbies besides movies and music. Besides playing games, and I don't even play games as much as I used to at all. I haven't played a video game in a while, but I used to play them all the time. Moving on, you also asked, what's your favorite food? That's a pretty hard one as well. I love Italian food and Mexican food. I'd probably say some of my favorite things would be obviously pizza, tacos, any pasta dish, and I love cheesecake and brownies for sweets and shit. So yeah, that's a few different things, but it's hard for me to pick an absolute favorite. Knuckles 54X asked me, have you ever watched August Underground or a Serbian film? No and no. I want to watch all of them. I know there's a trilogy of August Underground films, and I know Serbian film is really fucked. I've seen parts of Serbian film, but never the whole thing. I want to watch all those films in their entirety. Haven't had the opportunity to check them out yet, but I do plan on it. Movie Collector 666 said, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I said the poon male, like wow. Hey, yeah, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Classic quote, and yes. Waltz with the devil in the moonlight. Fantastic. Ad Charlemagne asked me, what is your favorite 70s and 80s film artworks? One that comes to mind right away is They Live, the original print of They Live with the sunglasses and the reflection of the skull on them. Absolutely love that artwork on that. Just absolutely phenomenal. Creepshow is another one. Both of the Creepshow films had phenomenal artwork. I just love the hand-drawn style that was done a lot in the 70s and 80s. There's so many that are just completely amazing. Just way too many to name. And Shout Factory's, or Scream Factory's new stuff, I have to mention them even though it's not 70s and 80s film artwork. It's absolutely amazing and should be mentioned just because it's so brilliant. What is your favorite horror film score, soundtrack, and composer? Obviously, for me, anyone that knows me, The Burning is my absolute favorite horror movie soundtrack. Absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite composers would have to be, what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I just had it in my head a second ago. It's the same guy that did I Heart Huckabees. John Bryan, I think John Bryan. He's absolutely amazing, just fucking absolutely phenomenal. He doesn't do horror film soundtracks, but he is just ridiculous. John Harrison is a phenomenal guy for horror movie soundtracks. He did the Creepshow soundtrack and among a million other ones, but he's just absolutely brilliant behind the keys. Rick Wakeman as well. Rick Wakeman is fucking just ridiculous on the organ. Another question from Ad Charlemagne is, what or who is your favorite rapper and rap group? Like I said before, I kind of answered this one earlier. It's kind of a double up. Really don't have a favorite rapper, but like I said, Big Pun, R.A. the Rugged Man, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang Clan, Nas. Those are a lot of the guys that I've kind of always enjoyed over the years. Favorite rap group would probably be either Mobb Deep or Wu-Tang Clan. Very close in between those. Absolutely love both of those groups. And N-Ready asked, how many movies do you buy each month? That varies usually, but it can be anywhere from, I'd say, 35 upwards to 80 to 90. Usually I do two trips to the pawn shop a month. I order some stuff online. I do trades and things like that. My girlfriend picks me up stuff at random. So roughly anywhere from 35 to 80, 90 movies a month. It depends, fluctuates. And lastly, Chris McCormick asked me, what really got you into making beats and how long did it take you to really find your sound? Well, what got me into making beats, it's pretty simple. I didn't like the beats that were out at the time. This was around 2000, 2001 that I first started dabbling into making beats, and I just didn't like the sound that was out there, so I started making my own stuff. And for me to get to the point that I found my own sound and actually liked what I was making, it took a long time. I'll be honest about that. It took a good 7-8 years of making beats before I actually got really liked, excuse me, really liked what I was actually putting together. But yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of time. I mean, just being really honest about that, it takes a long time to actually find your niche and something you really enjoy. But once you find it and get locked into it, you know what I mean, it's smooth sailing from that point on. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up all you guys' questions. I had a whole big list of them. I hope that lets you guys know a little bit about me. I'll do another one of these in the future for new subscribers or anybody that missed out on this one. I'll probably wait a couple more months before I do that again. But I will do another one of these segments in the future. I appreciate everybody that submitted questions. I appreciate everybody reaching out. Hope you learned a little something about me today. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you leave a comment down below in the box. And yeah, and if I was a little quiet at the beginning of the video or even in this part of the video, it's because my girlfriend's sleeping right behind the camera, so don't want to wake her up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below in the box, and I'll see you guys around next time. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Peace.